I see people are here. Hello, everybody. How are you? Sorry about the confusion with the emails. I punished my assistant and she corrected it. So you all should have the right stuff. And I'm hoping Caroline got on here because she just sent me an email saying she didn't get an email. So hopefully, Caroline, you are here. I'm going to look and see who's here. Julie's saying hi to everybody. I'm saying hi to everybody. And we got a lot to talk about today and people that need to be. Yay, Caroline, you're here. Good. Did you just get my email, Caroline? Or did you have the email already? Well, anywho, I'm hoping everybody can see me and hear me. I know, yeah, Caroline got it. See me, hear me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Julie can hear me and see me. Hi, Michelle. You can see me and hear me. Good, 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 good. If somebody can't, it's probably on your end and not on my end. Hello, Miss Paula. Good to hear you, see you. Okay, you guys, I got to start because I got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time. And I know Julie wants to try and get off as early as possible. I think Stephanie's going to be a little late. And so probably, and I know Michelle has to get off on the hour. I can probably go 15 minutes over. So my agenda for today is, after I tell you about what's on my board, is that I'm going to coach Julie first because I know she wants to get off. And then I'm going to do Stephanie. And Stephanie is from last week where I had to cut her short. And then I'm going to do Caroline. Those are the three people that I'm planning on coaching today. And if I have extra time, then I know I'll probably pull on Michelle because she's got some interesting stuff. And but if not, there'll be a next time. But I know what these three people want to talk about is going to help all of you. So first of all, I just want to see everybody that's here. So I'm just going to look here. Okay, Stephanie is not here yet, unless that's Stephanie. I'm not. Oh no, Stephanie, are you here? Because I just see a laptop, but I don't see a name. Oh, it could be Maria. Also have somebody new, Maria, that you probably won't meet today, but you'll meet next time. She's coming too. We are having a party. Okay. Are you ready for what I got for you today? Because I got some good stuff. So first of all, last week we talked about the urge worksheet. And I know from Caroline and from Stephanie, I got some copies of your urge worksheets. Were totally amazing. And you both said that it was really, really helpful to you. So I'm going to add something to your homework this week that may or may not be helpful. Feel free to do it if you want. Feel free not to do it if you don't want. But if I'm offering it, I think it might be a good idea. It's up to you what you decide to do. So first I want you to read this. And this is from Julie. Julie's the one that gave me this idea. About reading Anita Moorjani. I think that's how you say her name. And she wrote a book called Dying to Be Me. And Martha Beck was talking about this on her Facebook gathering room. And Julie passed it on to me. And I love the book so much that I want to quote her. And to be really quick about the book, it's about a woman who ended up with a severe leukemia and was basically dying on her deathbed and had a near-death experience and came back. And her experience and her advice and her awareness is so beautiful that I think we should all read it because it just helps you understand life better from somebody who left and came back. And maybe you believe it, maybe you don't. Totally up to you what you want to do with it. I think the book is amazing. But I want to read you this quote and tell you why I think it's important. So this came up in the book where she was talking about when things happen to you and the way that your mind works about things that happen to you, and we can call those things circumstances, and the way our minds work around it, which are called thoughts, and I'm just adding this to what she said. She said that since her near-death experience, she sees this in a different way, and she understands the way her mind works better, the way her thoughts work better. And I really believe that if you understand what she said, this is an amazing thought for you to use on any circumstance that you think is difficult. So here's what she said. She said, and she was talking about these negative circumstances. So she said, if I can accept that my understanding is incomplete, and by her understanding, she means her thoughts. And if I'm able to be uncomfortable with uncertainty, this opens me up to the realm of infinite possibilities. Like, do you guys get that? Because to me, it's so big, because like our minds are so little with the thoughts that we even think to begin with, because we see things through our own little micro perspective. It's so small. And that when you can think a thought like this, that you can accept that your thoughts or your understanding is limited, it's incomplete, because you just don't know everything. You can't see everything. You can't quite see the big picture. And if you're able to be uncomfortable with uncertainty, I love this, because you know what? It's all pretty uncertain, but sometimes things happen that really make you think it's really uncertain. But I love the idea that with these two things together, if you can allow this to be this way, then it actually opens you up to all the possibilities. So I don't know if that rings a little bell for you, but if it doesn't, maybe read the book, because I think it's amazing. But I think in terms of our own thought work, and I think in terms of our own idea of our circumstances and how we think, that what we can really understand, that everything is just so incomplete in our own heads. And like I think she was saying, is that when she had this near-death experience, everything was just so expanded. Like she could understand things that she could never understand before, because she was out of her head, out of her brain, and she was in pure consciousness. Anyway, take it or leave it. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you about that doesn't really go with this, but goes with what we were talking about the urge worksheets, is what you can add on to it. So for those of you who may have heard about this, and maybe some of you haven't, is what I have here is I have a heart vase. It's kind of like a heart candy jar. And I have little red rocks in it. And I chose a heart and I chose red because I think it's really significant. So this can be called an urge jar. And you can use an urge jar to go along with your urge worksheets. So when you did your urge worksheets, they were all based on thoughts that you had that created an urge, and then thoughts that you created that managed the thoughts that created the urge, right? And what I was saying to you is if you keep adding on to it, you will be able to manage your urges, because your brain will get so smart with how to do it. Now we're going to give your brain something else to do, because it always likes things to do. And we like to give it jobs, and we like to reward it. We don't want your brain to think that cupcakes and cookies are rewards. So this is how the urge jar works. Every time you allow an urge and you write it on your worksheet, you then put a stone into your jar. I call it a jar, whatever you want to call it. I like it because it's a heart, because I feel like you're filling up your heart. So I like the analogy, so that's the way I did it. And I got all of this on Amazon. Very inexpensive, but meaningful. You can put this somewhere where you can see it all the time. However you did your urge worksheets, it's like whenever you put your thought onto the worksheet, you then put a stone. The goal is to fill it up. And your little brain loves jobs. And we want your brain to think that by filling this up is so rewarding. So if you can say, I wonder how long it would take me to fill up this jar. So I think I've got like 100 of these. You can just keep filling it up. And maybe all of you I know have a little bit of a competitive nature. Maybe you would like to fill up your urge jar and see how fast you can fill it up. And then we can have a competition for the next time that we have a call, and we can see who had the biggest. So think about that as I start getting ready to coach. But I always like to give your mind something to do, and I like to give you a little bit of homework. So now you've got the urge jar to go with your urge worksheet, and I'm going to get ready to pull somebody on. Does anybody have any questions about any of this that they want to put in the chat section or they want to put on Q&A? No? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make my best attempt to pull Julie up, and we're going to coach her first. I'm going to promote, I'm going to allow her to talk. So she's going to be able to talk to me, and I'm going to promote her to a panelist, and I'm going to have to undo her video.
Unmuted?
You're unmuted, and now I have to
Do I need to click start video?
you don't yet.
Okay.
You will in a minute.
All righty.
Hold on. Oh, wait, 1 second. Allow participant to allow panelist to start her video. Okay, you should be able to start it now.
Okay.
There
Hello,
you are.
everyone. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. All righty. You wrote me a lot, and it has a lot to do with a lot. So I really just want you to help us understand what it is that you're going through right now and what I can actually coach you on, because I could pick a bunch of stuff, but I'm not exactly sure where you're at in terms of what you want. So if you talk to me a little bit, I think it'll be the best way for me to coach you and the best way for other people to understand what you're needing, because I know it has to do with emotions and being able to feel them and going deeper.
I think that's a good idea, because you have an amazing talent of being able to identify what the best thing is to coach on.
Okay.
As I mentioned, it's just kind of like I've had another total breakthrough.
Yes, which I love.
Just so exciting, because it is totally what you've known all along. Is that
what have I known all along?
That self-compassion and love and us being centered in ourselves is really where our breakthroughs are going to come through.
Love it.
You know, I totally repress feelings. We've known that. I buffer. I eat out of feelings. I'll have some uncomfortable feelings. And
okay, stop for 1 minute. Stop for 1 minute.
Yep. The thoughts?
Yeah, I just would watch a lot of the things that you just said about yourself, because I mean, you do it a little.
Okay.
But I mean, you also have come so far. So it's almost like I used to much more so than I do, because it sounds like this is what I do. This is who I am.
Perfect. Got it. And I think that, let me rephrase some of it, is that
thank you.
I love this. During the day, there are going to be all kinds of thoughts that come in our mind.
Yeah.
And they're going to create feelings. And some of our feelings are going to be good, and some of them are not so good.
Correct.
And the negative feelings, when I've come to a point where I'm so much more aware.
Yeah.
And much more quickly can not only identify I'm having the negative feeling, feel the negative feeling, start labeling it and identifying how intense it is. And
okay.
this is, you know, I've been making slow progress, but it's just like this week I listened to, 2 weeks ago, I listened to Martha Beck.
Yeah.
It was just like a whole new level was opened up to me.
Mm-hmm.
When she was talking about us experiencing our negative feelings and actually going into them and allowing time for them. I think it was that I want to think that a thought that I frequently have is that there's not enough time to feel what I have to feel. And I sometimes think that I'm scared of what I'm going to feel.
Okay.
And that day was just like, oh, this is not that scary. There's time for this. There's room for this.
Like, you actually put yourself through a process?
Yes.
And you said it's not that scary, or you said it's not that scary first, and then you put yourself through a process?
I said there's time for this and there's room for this.
And then you put yourself through it?
And I put myself through it. And she also then talked about that there's room for peace. Mm-hmm. And that frequently we don't feel the peace when we start in it.
Mhm.
But if we sit with it long enough, we're going to start noticing little parts of peace coming in, and that peace is always greater than any negative emotion we can have. And after we move through that, the peace will get bigger. And then from there, we can go into gratitude. So at that point, she had mentioned Anita Morjani.
Right.
And so I went out and started gathering some information from her, and her
Thank you very much. I did the same thing thanks to you.
just some amazing stuff about how important that it is, really is. We all know the adage that you need to take that. If you're on an airplane and something happens, you need to take that face mask and put it on first yourself.
Right.
But she takes this to such a whole new level on how much love we really sometimes, I'm going to say, how much love I frequently limited myself in showing myself.
Okay.
And it is just like, it took the NEF information that you've been taking us through with self-compassion, and it just kind of, between the two of them, and just kind of broke it all open.
Okay. So how does it show itself, and what do you want help with?
So I think what I want help with is, at those times, are there any techniques other than just sitting with it? I'm just finding that it seems to help to kind of go into like more of not a meditative state, but just to calm myself down, say there's time for this, there's room for this, and ask myself, what is it trying to tell me? And so I guess my question to you is, are there any other suggestions? I'm really noticing a huge change in the last week.
Yeah.
And I guess it was just like, is there any other suggestions, or just keep going the way I'm going?
What do you think?
I think that there's something still hiding, but
Okay.
I truly believe that I'm going to uncover it.
Okay.
Though
So
I'm not sure that it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like there's been so much change, and I'm really excited about it. There's just a
always.
little bit more to go, and it's like it's going to happen.
What's
If I
going to
just
happen,
keep going.
sweetheart? What's going to happen?
It's like there's another layer yet to come.
There's always going to be a layer.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always going to be a layer.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because it all of a sudden broke out in many parts of my life. With even there are times where I'll have issues with, I'll feel uncomfortable about money, or I'll feel uncomfortable about teaching or my painting. And it just is really helping. Like Tuesday night when I was teaching, the prior owner of the store was in there. And of course my thoughts were, oh my, what can I teach her? And at the end, I kind of noticed an urge coming up, and I just practiced this, and that urge just disappeared within moments.
Okay, so why don't we just do the intention? I mean, to me, you're asking me for more techniques. You're asking me for the A line,
Yes.
right? Like you need more A's.
Probably don't need more A's.
Why?
Because I think that this is working so well
So why ask
that
for more techniques?
I just relax into it. I mean, time and time again, you've kind of pulled me back. I just started laughing when you're talking about the jar and us all competing, because that is so much me.
It's like, okay, I know what Julie's going to do next week. She's going to bring her jar. It's going to be full.
Just like, how much can I read? How much can I? And there are certain times where it's really not about gaining more information. It's just relaxing back into it. It's just relaxing into the meditation, relaxing into the model, relaxing into actually feeling the negative feeling, and learning not to, actually just taking and learning to experience whatever feeling I'm experiencing. Because it's been quite a while that I've known each time I repress it, it just gets stronger, or it just comes back again very quickly.
That's what you're learning.
That's what I've learned.
But I'm interested And because I think for you,
Mm-hmm.
that I think you said like either I'm almost there or I'm
Yeah,
uncovering, I've almost got it uncovered.
that's pretty close to what I think I said.
Uh-huh. And
I think it's
you
that
act as if you're going to get someplace soon.
I do, and that's a repeated pattern with me.
It's very repeated. That's why I'm
Mhm.
interested. Because, like, I think everybody that's listening to this is going, oh my God, she's like amazing. The things that she's, that the work that you do on yourself on a regular basis is, but for you, that's not how you think. Like, that's how I think about you. The way you think
Okay.
about you is
You
more
know,
like that.
you're bringing up really an amazing point because
But
it's
let me interrupt for 1 minute. When you think I'm almost there,
mhm.
or I'm starting to uncover the whole thing, how does it make you feel?
That's in actually there's a little tension there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you got work to do.
Instead of just knowing that's life, right?
Let's just put tension, because you're talking about beautiful things,
Hmm.
acceptance and being able to allow yourself where you are. And I totally agree that when you allow an emotion to go through, peace is almost always on the other side. I mean, I think of the big thing that we did with your emotion of devastation, which you just said, is just sort of the beginning, which
Right.
I just think is just part of it. Like
Hmm.
there's really no place. It's not like you're going to go from there to it,
Correct.
which I think is what you think is like, I'm going to get to it. Like there,
Yeah. And I think I tend to put the goals out there. Like what did I want to accomplish during this period of our coaching?
uh-huh.
And I want to redo this thought because it's really it's really I'm there. I
Okay,
you
so
know,
let's just stop for a minute because I just want everybody to see where you were because you
mhm,
already are creating an intentional model. So
I
just
am.
very
So
quickly, your action line is you
I keep working
um,
at it.
keep
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 working.
looking, reading, searching,
Yep.
doubting yourself. And for sure the result is you're not there.
Right.
Wherever there is, you're not there, which goes back to I'm almost there, but not.
Mhm.
So you get to prove it. You see that?
I see it.
So you just now said, but I think it's organic. I'm there,
Yeah. It is organic.
right? Because you can't just go from I'm almost there to I'm there if you don't believe it. But I think just by us talking
And I feel it.
and you feel it.
And what comes around with that thought I'm there
Yeah.
is a confidence that no matter what comes up, I will work through it and I can handle it.
Well, how about I'm there? No matter what comes through, I can handle it.
Yep.
And it makes you feel confident. And I just found a new word that I love, and it's called calm. It's not a real word. I made it up.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Ooh, I like that.
Confidence plus calm.
Well, and there's nothing like calm.
There's nothing like confidence.
I like it.
So it's like then in your A line, we're just kind of talking about Julie and her emotions, really.
Yep.
I'm there no matter what comes through, I can handle it. I'm there. and you feel confident. And then in the A line, what happens? When you feel confident, when you know you're there and you know you can handle it.
Well, things flow. I come from the present moment. I can see clearly. I I handle what needs to be handled at the time. I create. I don't know. There's just a calm about. I like that confidence because there is a calm and there's a peace in it and there's joy in it. But when you being present in the moment, the actions then come organically from what needs to be done at that time, if that makes sense.
It does,
Because
but maybe what
search
happens in your A line is like, if the reason that you're constantly searching
Mm-hmm.
because you think you're not there yet and you're trying to get someplace, that's probably not the best reason, because you think there's something wrong that needs to be
Right.
fixed and you're trying to find how to fix it.
Right.
Right. So there's this, it's not calm and it's not confident. It's more like searching and not confident.
Right.
Right. And trying to find the answer as opposed to knowing you have the answer.
Because the
So
answer's always within.
it's within you. And
Mm-hmm.
when you learn something new, it's because it resonates with something that's already within you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. So, in your A line, be more present, handle the, handle the moment. And, you may still want to read. You still may want to, I think, maybe it's your nature that you just love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't you just love to do it from a love to do it and not think that something needs to be fixed and that you have someplace you have to go?
You hit it exactly, is that I don't want to be doing it because I'm searching.
Right. I mean,
I want to do it,
yeah.
yeah, it's that if something comes across and it's enriching, I like to read. It's fun to, I just find that enriching. And if something comes across, there's a different motive behind it. If I'm pushing because I need to find an answer or I need to solve a problem
Mm-hmm.
versus I'm reading for enjoyment, enrichment. Curiosity is another word that comes up to my
Well,
mind.
it just may all feel
Mhm.
different
Yeah.
if you're doing it more from this instead of this tension.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, you may enjoy the process a little bit more. You may enjoy the moment a little bit more, and then you're going to feel like you're where you need to be. So I'm
I'm,
there. I'm where I need to be.
I'm
There's
really
no place to
excited about the.
go.
Yeah,
There's no place to go. I'm there. Right?
I'm
Because
really
I think
excited about the
and I
transition.
think, Julie, I think for all of us, no matter where we are with anything, I think that when we know that we are there, wherever it is there is, it's settling and
Mhm.
it's peaceful because you're always where you need to be, no matter where you are. If you have 20 pounds to lose, you're exactly where you need to be. You're there.
Exactly.
If you're having urges and you're giving into them, that's where you need to be in order to figure it out. If you're handling your urges and you're learning how to manage them, then you're there being exactly where you need to be. I just think it takes the tension out,
Oh, I
like
can
that there's
just even
something
feel it.
wrong.
Hmm. I can even feel it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Will that do it for you for now?
I
I
think
think it
that's
was beautiful.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Exciting. Thank you so much.
beautiful. It's good to see you, and I think I'll be talking to you soon anyway.
Yes. Have a fabulous day.
Thank
Love
you.
everyone. Bye bye.
Okie dokie. Let's see how I can do this. Change role to attendee. And I'll make sure I turn her off. I'm getting better at this. Yeah, she's muted. All righty. I'm going to bring Caroline on, Miss Caroline. And I don't know if Stephanie's going to be here today. So if Stephanie's not here, I'm going to bring Michelle on. Oh, Michelle needs to get off. Caroline, can you write in the chat section if you can stay on past the hour if necessary? It may not be necessary, but can you just let me know? Okay, good. All right. I'm going to bring up Michelle first, and then I'm going to bring up you. And then who knows? I may even bring Paula. Paula, can you stay on past the hour? Can you just let me know if that's possible? I think you have to get off. I can't remember what you told me. Yes, you can. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Let's see how packed Michelle is. See what she's got for us today. I kind of have an idea. I think it's pretty cool. So I want to bring her up. Okay. I'm going to promote you, Michelle, and I'm going to allow you to talk. Hello. Hold on one second here. I got to let you talk. Okay, you're unmuted. Okay. You
right,
are
hi.
unmuted.
I want to know if Julie is going to become a coach.
You know what? Julie, she just got off because she had a meeting, but I think she's really interested.
Yeah, she's very wise.
She's very, very wise, and it seems like I have a lot of clients that end up coaches.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Michelle, tell if you can lower your camera just so, yeah, that's better.
Okay.
So, I mean, you wrote to me, you sent me your urge worksheet, you sent me a lot of your thoughts. So really, I just want you to kind of catch us up because everybody heard you last week where you were at. And
Sure. Yeah. I finished all of the testing that I needed to do. I had one other test and one other appointment I needed. And I probably partly because I'm finished with all that, my thoughts are turning to other things. I'm starting to feel better and kind of come out of my little rabbit hole. And I believe that I'm in control of whether I'm feeling positive or negative about things within some constraints. I mean, I do think it's important to let the negative emotions flow and experience them and comfort myself. But ultimately in my life, I think I'm in charge of my thoughts and my emotions. And I did something really cool this week. I went through all my notes from all of my food journals and all of our sessions, and I just distilled out all of my managing thoughts that I learned and started using. And it was so cool because I realized that a lot of those thoughts are now like they're there. They're little super highways. I mean, maybe they're 2-lane highways, but they're there. And that doing this work, I really do have a lot more managing thoughts that I'm able to access. So I came up with, I don't know, 15 or 20. And I just was feeling really excited about that. So.
Right. So how do you think that happened that you started because I think that's your A line that you started looking, that you started going through your notes. And so that's the A line.
Yeah, I'm good at the A line.
Yeah. But I think the most important part to see is what's creating the A line for you.
Yeah, I think, my A line, well, my thoughts are that I can handle things. I mean, I'm starting to believe that more and more. I can handle whatever happens related to my health. And I also believe that if I want to act like somebody who is ill and act like a patient and act, I can, and I don't want to do that. So my thoughts are that I can handle things, and my thoughts are that I prefer to live my life as like a proactive agent in my own life as opposed to sit around and feel like a victim. So those are some of my thoughts.
Yeah. So deciding to be proactive as opposed to sitting around like a victim.
Yeah.
Would lead to you doing what you did.
Doing all these actions. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, deciding not to be a victim to your circumstances.
Right.
Right. And the reason that I like the quote that I pulled up, did that ring to you when
Absolutely.
Because I was really thinking about you a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, the hard thing about that quote is I love that the idea that I don't know all of my own thoughts yet because I only see things through my perspective, and that I am open to other thoughts. Sitting with uncertainty is harder for me
Yeah.
And
Duh.
um,
For like everybody. It's hard for not just you.
right, right.
That's why I
But
love what she said.
yeah, yeah. But I like the idea that with the uncertainty comes positive possibilities as well as the negative things that I fear. Like you can't be open to all these like negative things that might happen to you if you're not also going to be open to, and lots of positive things could happen too, because you just don't
Well,
know.
we just don't know. And I love the idea of being comfortable. That's the defining word, is being comfortable with uncertainty,
Yeah,
because that is basically the only thing we are guaranteed in life.
right.
That's the only guarantee you got.
Yeah,
And we all go, well, I don't want that.
right.
I'm
Right.
not comfortable with what I know for sure is that I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Right. And I think we've talked before about this idea that if thinking about the past, like the past is done, like you can't really go back and change it.
Correct.
Thinking about the future, you can't really predict it. You only have the present moment. And I'm trying to also think like for example, with my health, in my present moment, there's nothing that I can't do that I want to do. And so I really would rather do the things I want to do and enjoy my life in the present moment than get twisted up in all the possible negative things that may happen in the future.
Right. And not only that, all the possible things that might happen in the future that actually might be amazing. I mean, we just
Right.
don't even think that way.
Right. Right.
That's what she's saying.
One of my managing thoughts that you just said is, and we talked about this, is that like things are happening in my life just the way they're supposed to. And that is a calming thought. It's
Okay,
like
so you
things are
believe that.
happening.
You
I believe that. Yeah. And that was
Got it.
something I hadn't really thought about before we worked together, but
Uh-huh.
it kind of came up when we were talking about like my husband and the way he parents my kids and what my kids are doing. And we said, well, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And
how do we know that?
because they're doing it.
That's right. It's like everybody on this call can relate to that, and everybody's had coaching around something like this. So
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. And so the same is true in my life, that, like when you talked, it was really interesting when you talked with Paula last week about, she was really feeling like she hadn't, she had wasted all this time, or she hadn't made progress, or what have you. And, I don't believe that, because I see her wisdom and her, I can see that she's doing the same work that I'm doing, and it's a hell of a lot of work. And, like she is right where she needs to be. And it was interesting seeing that, maybe she was in a place where she was struggling, but like for all of us, for me, that struggle is where I need to be when I'm struggling. And I just have to kind of accept that and comfort myself around that. And that makes it much more easy to experience the peace of like acceptance. Like, okay, this is, this diagnosis is just what's supposed to be happening in my life. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And then if I can accept that, that helps a lot with kind of moving on from the negative emotion and finding that peace and saying, all right, now what do I want to do? Now, what do I want in my A line? Do I want my A line to be, lots of things around comforting myself, or do I want my A line to be like, well, get out there and live your life, which is really the kind of person I am. I'm not like a dweller or whatever. So I don't know. Does that all make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I think that, how does that relate to, in terms of getting back on your protocol? Because I think, and the other thing that I'm thinking is that everybody because I coached you a couple times so far on this. So I really hope everybody can watch it, because it was a process that you went through.
Yeah.
And I can see you processing toward the, and I see how you brought yourself here, and that it was part of the process. And you stated that a couple of times, that I just I need to go through this. And you went through it and brought yourself to where you are now, where you're using a lot of wise wisdom that was always available to you, but you had to process the negative emotion first.
Right.
Like Julie said, in order to start coming to some peace.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
last week when I coached you, it was accepting the scary thoughts
Yeah.
and the feelings that go with it
Yeah. I
instead
think
of pushing them away.
and I think the what I was looking for was, okay, if I'm accepting these negative thoughts and I'm feeling pretty crappy and dealing with fear and stuff,
Yeah.
how do I comfort myself? Because in the past, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, what I would have done is I would have just pushed it away and binged on sweets and just numbed out, or lashed out at my family because I was just, I wasn't dealing with my negative emotions. I wasn't accepting them and sitting with them. So the struggle that I had was, what do I do to soothe myself when I'm feeling scared? And I don't know that I came up with any actions to soothe myself other than just to say, it's okay. You are afraid, and that's fine. And you're probably not going to be afraid forever. You just have to sit with this fear. I did some writing. I spent some time with my friends and my husband and talked about it. Maybe I would get myself a latte and say, this is something that I love, a latte, and I don't feel like it interferes with my protocol. I don't feel like it's, I feel like it's a way of showing myself love that's not destructive. But really, there wasn't a lot that I could do to soothe myself. I just had to kind of let the feelings flow as long as it took.
Right. And did you stick with your protocol?
I did. I have, for the most part. I've had a couple of little fogs, 1 or 2 storms, but I'm still on my protocol and I still stick to it most days.
Okay. So that's pretty amazing. Because you probably went through one of the most difficult circumstances for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If I could say that. I think I can say it.
Yeah.
And you did it without using food.
Yep. Yeah.
Used food for fuel.
Right.
So I think you did have a thought about taking care of yourself and soothing yourself, because I think that's what you did. You even gave yourself space to feel crappy.
Yeah.
And you said to me in your email to give yourself more rest.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did more resting when I was really in the fear. I did more resting. I definitely did, keep with my protocol. Like I said, I had a few little fogs and storms, but I did them kind of like what I say now is like with my eyes open, like instead of just kind of like coming to after eating 2 pints of ice cream and going, what was that? It's like, as I sit there with the ice cream, I'm like, I know why I'm doing this.
Did you eat 2 pints? Did you eat 2 pints?
No, that was just an example.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Or like, okay, 6 chocolate chip cookies, because my son made chocolate chip cookies. And one night I kind of went on the chocolate chip cookies, but as I was eating them, I was like, I know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I have emotions that, and I know that this isn't, so I feel like when I'm fogging or storming now, it's less of a fog because I know what I'm doing, and it's easier to stop because I'm like, this isn't going to function the way that it used to for me. This isn't going to help. This is not the A line that is going to, it's, as I've said before, storming and binging brings up more crap to unravel. And I really would rather not have to do that.
Oh, that's
so you're right.
so good. I love that. Storming. Yeah. But it doesn't go on this model.
Yeah.
Storming and binging and fogging. What did you say?
It doesn't solve any problems. It just creates new ones. It creates more crap to have to sift through.
Everybody write that down. I can't write it big. I think maybe I can do a model off of that because it's amazing. But it's like, I don't know. You could have even used that in your thought line here.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I think you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I'm so glad I can use it right now. Storming, fogging, and binging. And you guys, you can all put in your C anything that you just don't like. whatever it is. Storming, fogging, and binging doesn't solve
Anything.
It just
Creates more crap to deal with.
creates more crap. And your A line then becomes, oh my God, is this amazing? Using food for fuel most of the time. And even when you catch yourself binging or storming or fogging, you come back real quick. It's like, I really think like when you storm or binge, you are or fogging, I think you always can see it. It's just that how fast can you come back from it, I think is the most important part of it.
Well, and what does it mean? And for me, it used to mean I would wake up the next morning and feel like shit about myself. And then it would just be the self-fulfilling prophecy to do it again and again. But now it just, my thoughts come back really fast. It's like, okay, something's going on here. That's why I did this. I'm not a bad person. I don't suck. I'm not a big fat pig. I'm not destined to be miserable and fat. That whole cycle doesn't happen anymore. What happens is I go, okay, I got some work to do, or maybe I need to look at a model, or it's not this like self-flagellation.
I hope, I mean, it's just amazing. I go, who the heck is your coach? Because you got it good.
She's hired.
Woo! Wow. Wow. That's all I have to say, because that is the only thing you can do after you do something that you're not happy about, is to go back and become curious about it and not beat yourself up. And that was a lesson that you learned how to do. And I will tell you what, in your A line is you used self-kindness.
Yeah, I love to say I got curious, not furious.
Oh, I don't even know where I don't know where to write that. Everybody, you can write that down. Where to put it. I got curious, not furious. I mean, I don't know. I think I have to this is like really good stuff. I think you're going to have to become a coach too. I got furious. I got curious,
not furious.
Not furious. Oh, guys, I'm going to do a podcast. This is so good. Are you ready for a podcast yet?
I am. Yep.
Oh my God. Write this down so you don't forget to use it. Oh,
okay.
Geez. Okay. So you're blowing my mind. Yeah, Paula. I mean, seriously. Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, but I want everybody to know that the only reason that you can do what you're doing with something that you don't like is because you've done the work ahead of time. And we do this work, so when something comes up, we're prepared.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I have to tell you, my mom's getting knee replacement surgery tomorrow, and she lives in my town, so I'll be helping her. And my thoughts about it, I can imagine in the past, I would have been like swarming with like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much work and blah, blah, just going off down the rabbit hole.
I can imagine coaching you on that. I can imagine not too long ago coaching you.
And yet what I'm thinking is, this is an opportunity for me to show my mom how much I love her and care about her and just spend time with her. And it's not about, oh my gosh, I can't handle this, because I feel like that's one of my other managing thoughts that I'm really, really strengthening is I can handle it. Like I can handle my diagnosis. I can handle my mom's knee surgery. I can handle my husband doing things differently than me. Like I can handle it. And it's almost like I don't even need to say I can handle it without food, because it's like, I can just handle it. It's like, I'm just,
I love it for you. I just love it. Is there anything else I can do for you, or is there something you want to do for everybody that's listening? I don't think.
No, but I do have to say that talking it out, like I've got these thoughts in my head and I write them down, but talking them with you really does also provide clarity and kind of cement them. Yeah. So super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if you could go back the last few coaching calls and watch yourself.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
I think it would be really fascinating to go from the first call the first coaching call to this call. I think it'd be very amazing for everybody to watch it, because when we talk about it's just part of the process. You know, sometimes feeling shitty doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. It just means it's probably part of the process. And can you just allow it without doing something that's going to harm you?
Yeah. Yeah. Can
And
you
I
just
do
tell yourself,
believe-
this is exactly what's supposed to be happening right now? This is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now.
Where I'm supposed to be right now. Beautiful. Thank you, Coach Michelle.
Thank you.
I feel like I got a bunch of coaches on this call.
Well, this is the master class, right?
It is the master class, and that's exactly why it is the master's class, is because everybody has these tools, and now we're taking it to a higher level.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't have done this when we started.
No.
Right? And now, but everybody is right with you. Yeah. Oh gosh,
PhD
Paula
class is
says
coming.
PhD class is coming. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. My husband talked about that. PhD is next.
Yeah.
All righty. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to bring on Caroline. I know you have to get off on the hour, but you'll get a recording of this because
I'll watch it.
Caroline's got some good stuff too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I'm going to say
Bye.
goodbye. Okie dokie. Okay, Caroline, I'm bringing you on. I'm going to allow you to talk, and I'm going to promote you to panelist, and you should be able to come on. Oh, wait a minute. I think I did you, Maria. Hang on. Oh, no, I didn't. Yes, I did. Hang on. Hang on, Carol. Oh, Caroline, you're there. Wait 1 second. What the heck did I do with you? All right. Caroline, I'm promoting you to panelist. You should be able to do it now. Hit your video. I do believe that's what you have to do. Can you hear me? Caroline, can you talk?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Start video.
There you go. I see you. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Wonderful. Good to see you. Okay, so you sent me an email. And refresh us what you want coaching on.
Well, the email had two parts to it. One was the list of urges, which
that's right, which was very
I found
helpful.
really, really helpful. Which was mainly the list of self-coaching that I used to stop acting on urges. What I didn't do is, which I will do next time, is put in what I think created the urge in the first place.
Right. So the whole idea, I saw that. It's the managing thought is a good thought, but you have to be able to catch the one that's been doing it all along.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and for you, that's very important for you because you're so sneaky. Yeah. That's probably why you didn't write it.
This is probably right, actually. So I think what I need, which you all seem to have and I don't, is
right. Everybody's got it but you.
A protocol.
Okay.
I mean, I've got no sugar and no flour, which
that is your protocol.
That's it. But I don't sort of have, is that it? Is that only what everybody else has got?
Everybody's got different protocols.
Yeah. So.
Right. So for you, it's no sugar, no flour, and eating between the twos.
Okay. Well, I do that. Yes. Most of the time.
Well, then
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you want more?
Well, I mean, where I am.
Where are you?
Is that, which is a good place to be. Instead of beforehand, I would be either my weight would stay the same or it would gradually creep up. Now it's doing the opposite. It's either staying the same or gradually creeping down. So actually for every week for the last, I don't know how long, I've pretty much lost about ½ a pound.
Okay.
So obviously that's a huge improvement, and over a very long period of time that will bear fruit if I can keep doing that.
It is bearing fruit.
Well, yes.
It will bear. Wait. It will bear fruit. We're not, it is.
Yes, that's true.
And
it makes me feel very positive.
Yeah. And then you said, if I can keep it up.
Yes. Yeah. Because I'm going to keep it up, it will continue.
When you think the thought, if I can keep it up, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me feel not confident, whatever that is, unsure of my ability to keep it up, I suppose.
That's
yeah.
I want to show it to you because I think you're thinking that until I just caught it. I think what I heard from you is I really like what's going on here. And if I could, it'll take a very long time, but if I can keep it up, like there's a lot of stuff in there that does not cause confidence.
No, I can see that.
And yet you're very happy with your results.
Yes.
But it's like the way you talk about it, it's like you're trying to trip yourself up with your mind. So if I can keep it up.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's just put protocol. Protocol meaning what we just talked about.
Yes.
Like, you know, protocol, all a protocol is a way that you want to eat that gives you the results that you want.
Right.
You
so
know, and keeps your hormone levels at a nice rate. You know, insulin levels, your fullness and your hunger hormones, keeps them in a place where you don't feel like you have to eat all the time.
Which I most definitely am much more in that place now, much more.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, most of the time I sort of think I don't actually need to eat, which is extraordinary.
We can talk about that in a minute because that's where you were when I was coaching you too. Right? And that part of the problem is not really feeling hungry and eating anyway.
Quite.
But if I can keep it up with your protocol and it makes you feel unsure.
Yeah.
It's interesting because what happens in your A line from your email is that you end up, this is what you said in your email, is you end up eating foods. They're not flour and sugar, but they're more carby that you think maybe isn't in your best interest.
Correct.
To eat it, right? So you eat
carbs.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with carbs, but you're saying there is because it's not flour and sugar.
Well, what it is since I've been doing my food diary on the app, I've got, and I don't really look at the calories, but I've been looking at, when you look at it at the end of the day, it totals the carbs that are in it. And that's really brought it home to me that while not eating flour and sugar, I've still been eating quite sort of high carb food. And I don't think that's in my best interests. I don't think it.
What if you didn't have that app? Then what would you think?
I probably convinced myself I was eating a healthy diet, and it was because a lot of it's sort of vegetables, fruit, rice. No, not rice particularly, but that, so a lot of it is what you call healthy food, but it is on the carb end of the scale. Which
might not be a problem at all if you like your results. Like without looking at the app and how many carbs you have.
Yeah, I still think I eat too many carbs. I think I know when I'm thinking I'm going to eat something, and I often think I want to eat whatever, something, I don't know, sweet potato or a banana or something that's got carbs in it. And then I think, well, actually, no, I really ought to eat whatever, tuna and salad or something. And then suddenly I realize I'm not actually hungry at all. And I realize I'm not hungry for low carb things. So I do think that the existence of carbs in my life.
Well, you're not. I think what you're saying is you're not hungry at all, and half the time, and so you're going for food out of emotional hunger and not physical hunger.
Yeah, and then what I have been better at for sure is if I do that, then I'm not then, which I used to do that, and then I would eat a meal later. So now I can tell myself, whether or not I was planning to eat supper at 7:00. I've now eaten whatever, and therefore I'm not going to. And that's a big breakthrough because I was, as you know, always kind of very sort of driven by other people's routines and that sort of thing. So I would definitely eat So a huge improvement is that if I eat, say, something high carb in the late afternoon, I won't then think I've got to sit down and eat supper as well, which I'm sure
Why
is.
do you? So,
But it's more damage limitation that than actually eating in the best way for me.
I mean, it's only a problem if you think it's a problem. I'm serious. I mean, like it.
I think it is a bit of a. I mean, it's
Why
not
do you think it's a problem?
I suppose coming back to that thought, which is that I don't feel I can control my eating around carbs in a way that I can around. So that maybe comes back to, can I keep it up? And maybe I feel that unless I eliminate more carbs or any high carb food from my diet, I'm at some point I'm going to go backwards, or I don't feel safe. Yeah, maybe that's exactly it. Whereas if I lived in a house where there was nothing but cans of tuna and bags of lettuce and whatever, I'd probably be confident I could keep it up, but that's not.
Bullshit. That's like such bullshit. Why would you say that? It's like you're trying to say that if there's food around that I shouldn't eat, but it's around, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I should be in a place where none of that food is around, and then I wouldn't eat it.
No, not should. I said if I was. Obviously, I don't want to be in that situation. I want to be in a situation where I can live in a house, which I do. I mean, there's plenty of food I don't eat. But it's what I worry about, I suppose, is that as long as I'm surrounded by carbs, I'm going to come unstuck. So I need to have the confidence that that comes from within me and not depending on what's in the larder.
Let's look at this first, if I can keep it up. I mean, I've heard this thought before. That's why I like it so much for you. And it's the first thing that came out of your mouth within 2 seconds of talking to me. And when you think the thought, I can't keep it up, and you're unsure, I think you eat carbs and given to urges. Like, I don't know if you're eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full in your A line. I think part of what you're doing is eating carbs when you're not hungry. Like, I think you're entertaining yourself with carbs.
Yeah.
Is that right? Do you think?
I think that probably is right.
And eating carbs, like eating carbs meaning what? What carbs? What carbs
am I eating?
I mean, you're not talking about cookies and candy, and you're talking
No.
about...
It would be something like, I mean, sort of, we have a meal delivery thing, you know, which is pretty healthy, which is all kind of vegetable stuff, but it has often has like a thing of rice with it, or black rice, or sort of quite healthy brown rice, but I would eat more of it, or butternut squash, or sort of high carb vegetables. And I just know I eat those more enthusiastically than I do the green leafy vegetables, for example.
I know. What if that was okay? It's like, it's like you're not telling me. I mean, you just got this thing with carbs.
Yeah.
Carbs. Like, I like eating this food. I don't think like you think. But
I
if
think
you eat,
okay.
But wait, if you eat this,
I eat too much of it. I'm much more inclined to overeat.
Okay, well, if you're overeating, that's another thing.
Yeah.
But the carbs aren't the problem.
Well, I tend to overeat more when I'm eating carbs than I do when I'm eating fat and protein. And
okay, that's probably a thought you have.
Yes.
I'm not sure that you could prove it. I don't know that you could prove it in court, but I think you got a big thing about carbs.
Yeah.
And I think you have a big thing about if you can keep it up.
Okay. And the two come together.
I think they do. So, for this practical purposes, it's kind of eating. I don't even know if it's just carbs. I just have a feeling that it's just eating when you're not hungry, and then choosing foods that maybe they're just not fuel because you're not hungry. I think these are fuel foods.
Okay. Yeah. And if
unless they're not part, if you want to take them out of your protocol and they're not part of it, you can certainly do that if you want, but I'm not sure it's a problem. I think your problem is in your head.
I'm sure.
Pretty sure. Yeah. So it's like the result right now is if I can keep it up, is you can't keep it up.
Yeah.
based on your action of eating when you're eating when you're not hungry.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, that's the bit of the protocol that I'm not keeping up. It's the eating between the twos.
Right. So when you say to me, I don't think I have a protocol, I think you do have a protocol.
Not sticking to it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. No, that's exactly right, actually. That's the bit.
It's like a very simple protocol, and it works quite well for you. And basically what you're saying to me is, I like to eat when I'm not hungry. And when I'm not hungry, I like to eat this stuff. Yes, because if you were hungry and you were eating this stuff, it's fine.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
So give me an example of the last time that you did this, and let's see if we can model it in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Ooh, when did I last do it? Well, a bit last night, actually, because we had one of these meals, which was kind of vegetables, fish, but it also had a big pile of, it was kind of black rice, you know, it was, which is
okay. So I'm not going to put all the food on there, but the food, that's part of the circumstance.
Okay.
Last night's dinner with the food.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's go right to your A line. How hungry were you when you started? I just take it right out of the food journal. I mean, like, how hungry were you?
Okay. So I would have been a -2, I think. I think I felt like, and then I probably ate to a +4, I would think.
Okay. And it was a fuel?
Yes. But I knew halfway through that I was time to stop, and the bit that I hadn't eaten was all the rice, and then I ate it. I finished the plate. And I honestly think if that had been a pile of vegetables, I wouldn't have done that.
Stupid thinking, and sorry, I don't mean to say it's stupid thinking, but it's pretty stupid thinking.
Okay, it's stupid thinking. But I mean, that's what happened.
This is what happened. That's true. It's in your A line. And why do you think it happens is what we want to know.
Okay.
Because this is basically what's happening. And you're blaming it on carbs. And carbs are not your problem.
No, I'm sure that's right.
The problem is you're not sticking to your protocol. You're overeating. And you're blaming it on the carbs and thinking you got to get the carbs out of your diet. How am I got to get carbs out?
Yeah. Because, you know, I think everyone else knows that I have these various medical issues which have been hugely improved by removing flour and sugar.
So good
basically inflammation-based issues. And so I have I just don't want to eat flour and sugar because I know the effect it has.
Right, but why do you want to overeat?
Well, that's a different thing, you see. It's actually
I understand, but just think if you had the same thought about flour and sugar.
Right. Yeah.
You don't think overeating affects your medical condition?
Not directly. Obviously, losing weight, I'm sure, is very good for it.
No, you think overeating does not affect your medical condition?
I don't think it does if I'm not overeating the wrong foods for the medical condition.
Well, maybe that's your problem.
Obviously, if I absolutely stuffed myself every meal,
why would you have a thought that you don't think that overeating affects your medical condition?
No, you're right. Well, I don't.
I mean, you're not reporting the news to me.
Well, I don't. The honest truth is I don't know, do I, whether it does or not? Well, I mean,
I'm thinking, how could overeating help your medical condition?
Well, I don't think it helps it.
Well, it could hurt it.
Yeah, I suppose that's right. Well, I think fasting, having periods of not eating certainly helps it. That's for sure. The times when I have actually introduced reasonably long periods of fasting has certainly helped.
Helps what?
It helps me feel better.
When you go without eating for long periods of time?
Well, not for long, not for 8. No. But when because I've done, like, when I've been at a spa and stuff where they do a 24-hour fast, it always makes me feel a lot better, and I think it is good for me.
Okay, but listen. You're a brilliant woman. Tell me how overeating how could it not affect any medical condition?
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose it does. I mean, even a little bit overeating like I do. I mean, I don't overeat to the point of being
Okay, well, maybe that's
rolling
your
on.
thought, is you don't overeat
Yeah.
that much and it doesn't affect your medical condition, so have fun. What's more?
Well, yeah. I never thought about the medical condition. What I did obviously think about is overeating is stopping me losing weight at a better rate.
I know.
No question about that.
I know, but maybe that's not that compelling.
Yeah, yeah.
I think your medical condition is more compelling. And
Yeah,
I think you think that, I mean, like, let's say I don't have any medical conditions that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
How could I possibly think that overeating doesn't affect my health?
Yeah.
With nothing.
It's true.
With nothing.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there and going, no, I think it's just fine.
I'm not. I'm just saying that it doesn't connect, or hasn't historically connected as directly as the not eating flour and sugar, because the effect is so immediate and positive.
Well, maybe if you stopped
overeating
overeating for a long enough period of time, you might find out that it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somehow, I think
Yeah.
that it's okay with you to do it. What are you thinking and feeling when you overeat? I think it's fascinating. I think there's a lot of things, but I'm thinking that one of them is that, like, you would not eat flour and sugar in your A-line.
No.
Right? Because flour and sugar makes me sick. And you really like feeling good. So that's not going to happen.
No.
Right. But this will happen. Because you think something totally different that allows you to do that and kind of go, I wonder what's going on here. And you blame it on the carbs. I just got to cut out carbs. I'm telling you, what you have to do is you have to cut out the thinking and the feeling that's causing you to overeat.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever that is. I'm giving you a couple ideas from the deal with your medical condition. Like, I can overeat. Overeat's not a problem. As long as I overeat the right foods.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely, that's what I was sort of trying to get at, was that, I do eat healthy foods, but I just eat too much of them.
I can overeat the right foods.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you feel entitled. And then you overeat. And then you overeat.
Yes, and then I've overeaten.
Overeat the right foods. Slow weight loss.
That's pretty much sums it up.
And blame it on the carbs.
Okay, you've got me.
I think it's probably good for everybody. I'm sure everybody's blaming it on something other than what they can actually take responsibility for.
So what should I be thinking then?
You tell me. This is like what everybody likes to do to me who are not masters. Could you please tell me what to think?
So if I was eating that meal, what I would have to think is that I can stop eating when I'm full. Isn't it? That's what I have to think.
Why do you want to stop eating when you're full? For what reason?
Because that's my protocol, and it will make me feel better, make me healthier, and it will help me lose weight and all those things. I know why I should stop when I'm full.
Right. Well, up until now, you actually really don't want to stop when you're full because it's not that big of a deal.
Okay. Because it's healthy food.
Yeah, and it doesn't
that's what I'm saying.
And it doesn't affect your medical condition. I would add that to it. I can overeat the right foods, and it doesn't affect my medical condition. If it affected your medical condition, you'd stop so fast you won't know it hit you.
Yeah.
So I think when you decide to believe something that strong is when you'll stop overeating.
Okay.
Because overeating is overeating.
Yeah.
Overeating, and I mean, you can overeat and still get a little bit of weight loss. So go for it. If you can do it,
Well,
if you
that's,
want,
yeah,
you
I
can
think
change your
always
protocol.
that's part of the problem, is I am continuing to lose weight, however slowly.
Well,
so I can make up this, but it's not right. It's not. I don't need to overeat because I don't need to feel overfull. I don't like feeling overfull. There's no
really?
upside to it. No, I
Well,
really
if you
don't.
don't like it, why do you do it?
Because I think I think I'm not. I mean, the other thing is I eat too fast, so I eat it, and then I realize
I don't care how fast you eat.
Okay, but that's why, because I eat it before I've registered that I'm full.
Bullshit.
Okay.
You're just overeating. I don't
Okay.
care if you eat really fast. You can stop when you're full. You'll know.
Okay.
You're overeating because you don't think it's a problem.
Mm.
As soon as you believe it's a problem, you'll stop.
Mm.
You have to believe it's a problem.
Yes, well, I do now.
Okay, well, you know what? You're going to create a new intentional model, and you can send it to me, and I'll report to the group next week what it is, because I want you to come up with the thought.
The thought that I need to have when I sit down to eat, so that it will make me eat the right amount.
So that you eat between the two, so you stick to your protocol.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're thinking. You now know what is not working.
Mm.
It sounds pretty sneaky and pretty good, and you blame it on the carbs.
It's quite true. It's super helpful, that, actually, because you've actually worked out what the real issue is there.
Correct. And it's usually always the real issue is always up here.
Yeah.
Always. And that's what we try to figure out. So, because that is where the control is.
Mm.
It's like you can't control the A line until you know what's controlling the A line.
Mm.
Now you know what's controlling it.
So thinking something along the lines of, I can eat what thought should I be having in that space then, instead of I can overeat them?
I am not going to tell you.
Okay.
I want you to work on it. I really want you to work on it, because you're totally capable of doing it. You know what your unintentional thought is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now you need to decide what you want to think instead.
Yeah.
For sure, what you know, that as long as, you can start, I'll give you a little hint. You could just start with the thought that as long as I think I can overeat the right food, I will. I will.
Yeah.
At least you know it's a thought and it's not the carbs.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can graduate from there. But you have a very, very simple protocol.
And I'm not sticking to it. Yeah. It does. Yeah.
It works for you. And you're going, well, I like to overeat sometimes, as long as it's good food.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of people in that arena that do that. And I don't want you to just do it so you can lose weight. It's just not a compelling reason. I want you to do it because there's something about it that's not right for you. And you have to figure out what that is. And if you decide to get one of these,
which I was going to do.
Yeah. I think that a lot of your urges are going to be in overeating.
Okay.
You're going to see the thoughts come up that's going to tell you why you need to overeat. And
so I'm going to finish this plate, or okay.
I got to finish it, or it's healthy. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's healthy. It's delicious. It's delicious, but it's healthy. It's okay. And you're going to have to look at those thoughts and then manage them.
Yeah.
Which is why it's important to create a like an intentional model around this.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Total sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So
amazing.
Yeah. So next level up.
Okay.
Layer up, level out. Okay.
Yep.
Beautiful. So you'll send me your intentional model, and if I don't coach you next time we get together,
Yeah.
I will for sure read it.
Sure. So intentional model is the good version of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Intentional model means it's intentional. This is totally
Right.
unintentional.
Unintentional.
There's a
Yeah.
thought and I'm going to use it. I'm not going to think about it because
Yeah.
it's going to lead you to a negative result.
Yeah.
So once you know
Okay.
that you want a different result, you need a more intentional thought to create it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. And we'll see who wins with the urge jar.
Right. I think I've got lots of urges to go in there. So.
I think it's really, really good that, I think your brain would love to see a lot of these little beautiful things in there. And it makes it kind of want to go, let's see how many I can get.
Yeah.
Okay. And just as a reminder to everybody, our next call is not the first Monday of the month. It's the second Monday of the month. And it's in the email that I sent you.
What actual date is that then? Do you know?
It's in the email, and every
Okay.
email I send you, it'll say it.
Okay.
It'll tell you when the next one is.
Okay.
But it's not the first Monday, it's the second Monday.
Okay. Good.
Okay? So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody as I say goodbye to you. Thank you for your openness.
Well, thank you. It was really helpful.
Good. And I'll see you in a few weeks.
Very good.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.